Hi. This is video 6 in the series I've been doing on using emachineshop D2NC and Mach 3. Today I just want to show a couple of features that are in emachineshop that some people have commented on that they haven't seen used before. One of them is, let's just draw a circle, and let's say that I want multiples of this circle. I'm going to zoom back out. Okay, up here in this right corner, there is a box that shows a dimension. And this dimension actually has multiple purposes. And what I want to show you is, right now that this circle is selected, if I push an arrow key on the keyboard to shift this part around on the screen because it's selected, it's only going to move 2/1000ths. Oops, it just brought it back into full view. But it's only going to move 2/1000ths each time I press the key. So I'm going to put a line next to it so you can actually see it. Doesn't represent anything. I'm going to reselect the circle, and I'm going to hold the arrow key, hit the arrow key and move it. And as you see, it's moving at a very, very small amount. Well, you can use this box to actually move lines, circles, whatever you've selected, exact amounts. So if I was to take this line, for instance, and intersect it here, let's see, it shut off. Snap to lines. This here, the little boxes that line up on the sides here to snap to 4 positions or different positions on here, you can shut that off and on. If you hover over anything on a screen, a box will pop up and tell you what you're actually looking at, and some small explanation of how to use it. If you go to the emachineshop.com site, there are videos. If you hit help up on the top, you can look for the videos. Hold on just a second. Let's see if I can pause this. Alright, back where I was. It just seems like every time I try to do this, somebody will come in or something. Alright, so now if I select this circle, and let's say in my drawing, I had these two actually touching right here, and they snapped into position. If I wanted to move that circle exactly 1 inch from the left, I could type a 1.0 in here, or just 1's fine. Once you hit enter, if I hit the arrow key, each time I hit the arrow key, it will move this 1 inch. And it's a really handy way of locating things as far as how they're aligned with the other lines in your drawing. There's also other uses. Let's say, for instance, if I, let's make this circle smaller. Let's just say that it's ½ inch circle. And I want multiples of these, and I've showed you before you can hold the control key and then hit D to copy something. If this is set in like 5,000 increments, what'll happen, I don't type what I say, 5,000 increments, what'll happen is when I hit Control D, it's going to pile them all up on top of this circle, and you really can't see how many of them you've got. You can tell you've got them. I can hold down the Control key now. I'm going to make 3 more copies, pressing the button 3 more times, Control D. Oh, got to select the line before I do that. Okay, hit Control D. If you notice, they're all 3 sitting on top of each other, so you really can't tell how many you've got. You'll have to, the last one you selected is on top, but if we move them out here, now you can see that there's actually 4 of them there. What you can do, I'm going to select 3 of these, delete them off, is in this box, put a ½ inch in there. Alright, now when I hit Control D, they're going to spread out a little bit where I can see them all. Okay? Next item is, let's say if you want to copy something on your screen. Well, if I selected this, and let's say it was more of an elaborate drawing, and I wanted to make a copy of it so that I can mirror it and turn it the opposite direction for some machining that I do on the opposite side of the part or something that I'll go into later. Um, if I right-click right now, I can click Copy. And if I click somewhere on the screen to paste it, you don't see anything. It doesn't look like anything's happened. Wait a minute, I got to deselect it. Let's try that again, because I should have saw something. Okay. I already copied it. Let's try paste again. And I believe, yeah, it's stacking them up on top of themselves, and you really can't see them. So what you want to do in a case like that, especially if it was something that was more elaborate, I want to copy all of this, let's say. So let's take the line and we'll just group them. Then I select one, it's going to select them all. And then I right-click on one of them and say Copy. Now, before I click Paste, if I don't want it to paste it right on top of the drawing that I have there, especially if I forgot to group it first, because if you try to take the parts that you just copied back off of it, you only get one or two pieces one piece at a time. So you want to group it first, then move it. If I put, say for instance up here, let's say 8 inches. Now when I hit paste, it's going to make an idiot out of me. There we go. Now when I hit paste, it put them right back on top. Something's... Try to scroll away from it. Okay, something must be set different. Oh, it put it way over there. It did put it 8 inches away. It was me missing where it actually had put it. I was expecting it to be on the left side. By hitting the equal signs on your keyboard, it brings them all into the view. 8 inches was too far, so let's try it with 2 inches away. Not 2002. Hit enter. Delete all of this. Select this one. As you see, they are grouped, so I'm going to copy all of these and right-click now and hit paste. And, okay, better explanation of what I was saying. I just had 8 inches was too far, and it threw it way out of our frame of view. But that's what I'm saying. That as far as this box up here, it's handy for a lot of different things. Okay, now I'm going to put that back to my 5,000s. Just kind of something I use as a basic setting. This is these boxes. I'm leaving them pop up. I disable them on mine, but for showing you guys how to use this, I'm leaving all these up. All it's saying is that it's not very big of a nudge. I'm going to go ahead and delete one of these. Brings everything into view. Then I want to actually connect these, and it will snap to the line because it knows what's down there as soon as I find it for a tangent. It actually should have connected up here somewhere. Let me delete that. Reselect it and delete it. See if I can start out. Oh, maybe that is where it goes. Well, of course, let's just make something else. Delete. Okay, I'm going to draw a triangle with the 3 circles real quick. I'm going to select all. Select all. I'm going to click line. Ungroup. and then line, intersect. Okay. Go ahead and delete these two off. This edit, select all again, line, I'm going to group it. Okay, then make sure I have no openings. I've been kind of lucky so far you haven't seen the error pop up where there's an opening and the line is actually not connected. Eventually you'll see that error pop up, and if you zoom in on the area you'll see it. Okay, I'm going to go to line, corner, and this triangle is 14 by 10 roughly, so I'm going to put a 1-inch radius on the corners. So basically that's what I wanted to do. There could be a lot more things inside of here, but what I would like to show is to select this, come over here, since it's 14 inches, 12 inches wide, I should say. We're going to move 12 inches. Then I'm going to click off of it and back on, right click, copy. Then I'm going to right click, paste. I'm going to hit my equal sign. For some reason this thing is not, my computer in the house works exactly the opposite. Okay, I moved it over. If you ever try to show somebody something, I guarantee it won't work. Okay, let's say I need opposite views of this. You can go to line, go to transform, and there's a lot of tools in here. You can move, rotate, mirror, scale an object. You can simplify it. Say, for instance, if you've converted a bitmap to a DXF file, and the bitmap has a lot of tiny little lines that actually make up the line. In your G code, it would look as each one of those lines as an actual machining step. When you simplify something, the software will automatically hook all those lines together so that it's one machining operation instead of. I did an engraving for a shell that I showed in an earlier one, and if I wouldn't have simplified that, it had over 5,000 segments per inch, because the drawing really was made up of tiny little lines. So simplified, that's what simplify does. Okay, what I want to do is I want to mirror this object. I want to flip it horizontally. Click OK. So now I have the opposite mirror image. Let's say if you had a part and you had to machine both sides of it, so you would copy and make a mirror image like this. You would save each. You don't have to save, I'm sorry, these two separate drawings in separate files for for D2 and C, and I'll show you why. I'm going to go here and let's say, I'm going to save this file. I'm going to save it again as untitled. No, I'm going to save it as untitled 1. Okay, I'm going to export it as untitled 1. Now it's a DXF file that I can open with D2 and C. So I'll close this down. Here's the help files and the tutorials and everything. I had the internet open behind here for emachineshop.com. I'm going to close that down. Going to go into Mach 3 Loader. I hate this little mouse. Okay. Go select mill. Okay. I don't actually have a machine hooked to this one, so I have to click work offline and click reset. Then go into D2 and C. Select CAD. Open the file I just saved. I'm going to click import. Gotta find it. Where's computer? It's on my desktop. Oh, here it is. Desktop. Untitled 1 and open. Okay, here's both views, and then actually this is only one part. It's just a part that I'm going to flip over and machine the other side of, so I'm going to have whatever machining I'm going to do on each side. You click next to accept this file. Okay, don't worry about where you're going to locate it at this point in time. Click modify, and then whatever section you're not working with in this drawing right now, you can delete it out. It's not actually deleting it out of the file, it's deleting it out of the file that it's using now. It actually copied the file. It's not going to change your DXF. So you can say remove selection, then go back to origin, and let's say this one here, I want to line it up with the bottom left, and you can see right here, if you look closely, that 0, 0 is now on that corner. Now, if I was going to flip and do the flip the part over, and I wanted just for discrepancies in machines and everything like that, little tiny bits of backlash and whatever, and you really have to get things to line up really well, I would actually, for the opposite drawing, want to do it different. So I'll hit restart, import the same file, pick Untitled 1, open it, select this side this time. Oops, sorry, I forgot to click next. Don't worry about that. Click modify. Now let's say I'm going to work on the opposite side of this. So I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to remove it. I would not want to actually align this part by 0, 0 off this left corner, because there's just differences in machines and backlash and everything else. I would still want to start my machining processes from this side. So in this one here, I would state that my origin is bottom right. Okay, so whatever you were originally lining up when this was flipped over this way is now also the same 0, 0 point that you're lining up to machine this part in the opposite direction. If you own a big old Haas machining center, I don't think you'll need to do that, but for my uses, I just do this as a safe practice to make sure all my holes are going to line up, everything's going to line up. I'm going to always move my original 0, 0 as my starting point. So that was the point I was trying to make there. Okay, where I'd like to go now is shut down Mach 3 and D2 and C. And then I'm going to open emachineshop again. Open another file here. And this file, I want to show you a feature I don't actually use, but it's actually handy if you want to take a JPEG image. I just drew this up real quick to try to give you an idea. emachineshop will do a 3D representation of a part, and if you draw your whole part here and then select sections of it and give them actual height in Z, you can get a three-dimensional representation of what your part looks like, and I'll show you that. These parts right here were all selected, and if you look at the top up here under Z, and there's an explanation if you hover over it, it will give you an actual depth below the 0. The 0 is the top of the part. This is a little funny to use, only because I don't really understand it and I don't use it all the time, but just to show you how you could add Z depth to your part, change it to a JPEG so you can actually show people what the part you're talking about looks like on the website, or share the actual three-dimensional drawing with other people who use emachineshop. So each section now actually has its depth. Now this one here goes all the way through. So if you look at Z, it says air inside, air inside. The center of this part is described with air inside. This line here next to it, you can see that both of these are bordering an area. So you're stating what the Z depth is for this entire area, and that's at -5, negative a half an inch, I'm sorry. Then on the outside, it's going to say what the total height is. Okay, so if you think about this, the total height of this part, this piece of material, is 1 inch. The line next to it lights up these two lines. It says there's a valley in there a half inch deep. Then if you click the next line, it's stating that there's air inside. There's no material left here. Same way, if you go over here to this hole, there's air inside. If you click on this, it says it's 1.5 inches tall. So once you've got everything, if there's no errors and you've selected every line in here, then you can click on this pyramid up to the top, which will give you a 3D representation of your actual part. Then you can take your part and rotate it around to see what it's going to look like. This has nothing to do with, you still have to tell D2 and C or any CAM software that you're using what these cut depths are going to be and everything else. And this is just something I drew up so you can actually see what I'm talking about. But at this point, I could zoom out here. I could click on the top, find the settings. Okay, background color, show part from top view. Okay, it'll rotate it around. I believe if I scroll my mouse, yep, I can position it where I want in the actual screen. I can change the background color, the color of the part itself. I can rotate it just a little bit so you get a better idea what it looks like. And then you can save the file here as a JPEG. Name it and save it as a JPEG. That's really about all I had to say about this part of the software. It's handy. Alright. I guess that's going to be it for this one here. I've got to do some errands for the wife. That's why she called. So I'll go ahead and post this to YouTube. Everybody have a good day. If you can think of anything. Oh, one real quick thing for JPEG at Hobby Machinist website. I think I understand what you were trying to ask about putting an arc at the corner where the vertical and the horizontal and vertical lines meet, and you were trying to figure out how you would do that. If you notice here how it keeps wanting to snap to the corners, take this snap and shut it off, and then you can place this anywhere you like. So if you're wanting to come way over here and have a high arc on one side and a low arc on the other, you can run this any way you want to take the corner off any way you'd like to. See there, I can take the whole corner. Here I can take wherever you put this, say for instance, you can intersect these lines. So in a case like this, I'm going to select all of this. I'm going to go to View, Zoom to Selection, bring it closer into your view. If you look right now, you can see that I don't have these two lines intersecting with the top of this. So what I want to do is I want to select a circle, and since I'm set on 5 thousandths up here at the top, I'm going to nudge it 5 thousandths to the two lines across. Okay. I believe you were trying to say you've got a lot more arc on one side than the other side. Hopefully I'm getting close to what you're saying, but right here, select it all, say line, intersect, click off the screen so I only get the parts of this line I want, and start deleting off the lines I don't want. Okay, if you actually wanted this from here to stay straight until it intersected with this arc, I just deleted it off. Instead of just hitting undo. Oh, sorry, I'll show you something here. I can hit snap again, turn snap back on, draw a line from the corner of it up, come to the top until it is 90 degrees, hit enter, select it all again, intersect the lines again, take this section off this time, and then that's the arc you were talking about. I hope that's the arc you were talking about. If that's not, get back with me again, and maybe I can get a better idea of what you were talking about. So that's it for today. I'm going to go back to HyperCam and shut down.